Hello, my little shining stars. How have you been? I know you would be doing great. In this session, we'll be talking about singular and plural nouns. But before that, what comes to your mind when I say the word singular and when I say the word plural? So singular means something which is single or one in number. And when I say plural, plural is just the opposite of singular. Plural means many or something more than one. But before going into the intricacies, let me show you something. I have got a bag full of things just for you. Let me see what can I find in it. What is it? It is a shuttlecock. So because it is one in number, it is a singular noun. Let me see what else is there in the bag. Oh, what are these? These are pencils. These pencils are plural because they are more than one in number. What is it? It is a boy, and because there's just one boy, it is a singular noun. And let's see the last one. What are these? These are two giraffes. Because they are more than one in number, they are plural nouns. So this brings us to the definition of singular and plural nouns. When we talk about one person, one place, one animal and one thing, then that is a singular noun. And when we talk about many people, many animals, many places and many things, then that is called a plural noun. For example, girl is a singular noun and girls is a plural noun. Similarly, window is a singular noun and windows is a plural noun. So now I am going to give you some singular nouns and you have to convert them into plural. So your first word is tree. That's great. The plural of tree is trees. Your second word is color. Yes, the plural of color is colors. I think all of you added an S to the end of the word in order to convert it from singular to plural. So this brings us to rule number 1. So the first rule to convert singular nouns into plural nouns is by just adding the letter S to the end of the word. So park becomes parks and month becomes months. So there are some nouns whose entire spelling gets changed while conversion from singular to plural. Like child becomes children, man becomes men, woman becomes women, louse becomes lice, mouse becomes mice, and tooth becomes teeth. Now let us discuss rule number 3. So if the word ends with S or SS or CH or SH or O or X, then what do we have to do? We have to just add an ES to the end of the word to make it plural. For example, we have bus. Now this word bus ends with the letter S. So we will add an ES to the end of the word to convert the singular word into plural. So we have added an ES here, so bus becomes buses. Then we have glass. The word glass ends with a SS. So we have added ES to the end of the word to convert it from singular to plural. Now this word match ends with CH. So what are we going to do? We are just going to add an ES to the end of the word and it becomes matches. Here hero ends with O. So we have added an ES to it, so it becomes heroes. Fox ends with X. So we have added just an ES to it to become foxes. Brush ends with sh, and again we have added an es to make it brushes. So children, we can see that all of these were following this rule, but there are some words that do not follow this rule. Say piano. Piano ends with a o, but the plural of piano is pianos. Here we haven't added an es, but we have added only the letter s to the end of the word. Similarly, studio becomes studios and radio becomes radios. So these three words, pianos, studio and radio, doesn't follow this rule. So you need to remember it separately. Now we'll discuss rule number 4. So the rule number 4 says that if the word ends with f or fe, then what are we going to do? We are going to replace the f or fe with ves to make it plural. So we have the word thief. Now the word thief ends with a f, right? So what we have done, we have replaced the letter f with ves and it becomes thieves. The word life ends with fe. So what have we done? Instead of fe, we have used the letters ves. So it becomes lives. In rule number 3, there were some exceptions. Here also we have some exceptions. For example, chief. Now the word chief ends with a f, but we are not replacing the f with ves. Instead, what are we doing? We have just added an s to it. So this is an exception and this doesn't follow the rule. Similarly, belief also doesn't follow the rule and belief becomes believes. Now let us discuss rule number 5 and rule number 6. So if the word ends with y, then what do we have to check? We have to check the second last letter of the word. You have to see whether it is a consonant or a vowel. For example, cherry, right? Cherry ends with a y. So then you have to see the second last letter of the word. The second last letter of the word is r. Now r is a consonant. So what are we going to do? We are going to replace the y with the letter I and we will add an es to it. So the word cherry becomes cherries in the plural form. Similarly, if we have the word toy, now the word toy ends with the letter y. Now we have to check the letter which is there at the second last place. The letter at the second last place is O. O is a vowel. So what are we going to do? We are just going to add an S to the end of the word. So toy becomes toys in its plural form. So here was the rule number 5 and rule number 6. Here is an interesting rule, rule number 7. The plural of fish in this case is fish only because we are referring to the same species of fish. But when there are different species of fish, maybe in an aquarium or in a pond, then we refer to them as fishes. So the plural in this case is fishes, 3 fishes. There are fruit in the basket. The plural of fruit in this case is fruit only because we are referring to one type of fruit, that is pomegranate. In this case, because we refer to different type of fruits, the plural of fruit is fruits. So we say there are fruits in the basket. So we have now discussed all the rules of conversion from singular nouns to plural nouns. If you remember all the rules very carefully, then it will not be a difficult task for you to convert singular nouns into plural nouns. So I want you to revise them all and be ready for the conversion and be ready for the worksheets.